Right, so now to a dilemma facing many parents, grandparents, and children. When's the right time to move out?
A judge has ordered a 30-year-old man to leave his parents' home after an ongoing legal battle. And this is a case that's raising questions at a time when the cost of living makes getting your own place difficult.
So there are many sides to this, so that is why we asked Denver 7's Mark Stewart to go 360.
You've heard the phrase, home is where the heart is. But inside this house, the love has crumbled. This 30-year-old New York man ordered to leave the comfort of his mom and dad.
A 6-month notice to quit is a reasonable amount of time for someone who has been depending on persons for support.
Among the parents' complaints, he doesn't help with expenses or chores. A dispute prompting discussion here in Denver's Highlands neighborhood.
Is there a right age for a child to move out of the house?
You know, I think it depends on each individual families, but we like the fact that our kids went to college and mostly didn't come back. Well, I hope they're not watching.
My thoughts on that is shame on him, because a man should be able to stand on his own 2 feet.
So here's the reality check. Walk through most neighborhoods and you'll find a growing number of grown adults living at home. If you look at the statistics, about 15% of millennials are now living with their parents. That's up 5% from Generation X. Let's face it, living in the Mile High isn't so economical. And with a mountain of student debt, having a place of your own isn't so simple.
Housing's expensive in Denver and everywhere else, so I can see it.
In some families, coming home comes with compromise.
So if you lived at home for more than a year, you had to pay her rent. So you could either pay a landlord or you could pay mom, and mom would continue to cook, but you had to help.
And we all know mom's cooking is going to be better than another night of noodles, right? But there's a flip side to all of this, a metaphor known as helicopter parenting, a phenomenon where parents smother their kids into adulthood.
It costs a lot to develop your own apartment and, buy a car and all those things.
Yet psychologist Sean Worthy notes it makes sense for parents to help, but sometimes that can hinder the future.
But the problem is that oftentimes the parents aren't really launching. The parents are supporting and encouraging dependence. And that's the thing that becomes worrisome.
So let's bring it back home.
I have my mother, myself, and my 10-year-old daughter, Grace.
Ben Duda's mom is now living with him.
Well, I'm helping her out, and she's helping me out. It's a good mesh.
Proof that no two families are the same.
Certainly there's an opportunity for families to live together again if it works for them.
In the Highlands, Mark Stewart, Denver 7.
And there is something else to keep in mind here, because there are cultures where it's not uncommon for children to live with their parents until they get married.
That's right. So we want to know now, what do you think? When should children move out? Please email us, 360@thedenverchannel.com, or join the conversation that's going on right now on the Denver 7 Facebook page.